church. Blessed is the hand that giveth. I tell you, brothers and sisters, give unto the Lord and ye shall receive blessings of the Almighty abundantly. For the Lord God that you serve needs more of your giving. Hallelujah. Sunday morning na ukazagaze penaenda kuchechi chali ya kale. Every Sunday ni maukaole manatulo twa mashozi ya pa Saturday. Nati lelo niliche bwino ningafike na kuchechi nipembeleko. Nifika chabe mu intercession ele worship rumba ndiye praise. Pangono chabe ayamba pasita ulalikila pandalama mangu cha. Anakukula pa offering prosperity na marriage na chuma chapa chalo. Amaliza chabe bayamba na announcing balinkaniza ma selling na buying. Nyumba ya mulungu kuzanduka marigeti ne kudabwa he. Mesaya bwereranso pa chalo upapule na futi. Daba bantu bayamba futi kukulisa makwebo muchechi. Yesu Kristu shibwera no wembya ifikoti na futi. Daba bana bako bayamba makwebo muchechi na futi. Amakwebo muchechi yafula washalavyo kushitisha mafuta. Amakwebo muchechi yafula balitamba no kushitisha vyakulia. Ine ninazivera monga Elian pamene buza na tomola pa mamilion. Olona nkalama ningi kopanda chechi ndaba bintu vajinja nga kamilion. Ati brother miukeni akulisa Toyota nego shembo mumupingo motoka. Balondolo la mtengo wako chechi kontakti eruda nyendwa misheki. Wakonkanyapo ati sista zena azankala na bribe pa Saturday. Ati blessed with 20 pini chabe. Enjoy the fun bafakako na hallelujah amen. Uli nyumba ili vakanti kupila munga kambe na brother mulambiza. Ine kuzifunza mumutima uje ukuzi kuchimwa. Mesaya bwereranso pachalo ukwapule na futi. Daba bantu bayamba futi kukulisa makwebo muchechi. Yesu Kristu shibwera no wembya ifikoti na futi. Daba bana bako bayamba makwebo muchechi na futi. Amakwebo muchechi yafula washalavyo kushitisha mafuta. Amakwebo muchechi yafula balitamba no kushitisha vyakulia. Balitizi bangogulisa muchechi malamulo ya Yesu bayachita fuseki. Ine bane kunkala odabwa busa polalikira akumwana mereki. Ati hallelujah church choir album launch. Kuma venue batomola zina la church ni fote pini chabe. Nyumba ya mulungu mwezimo chitira makwebo. Bali busy bangogulisa muchechi malamulo ya Yesu bayachita fuseki. Ine bane kunkala odabwa busa polalikira akumwana mereki. Ati hallelujah church choir album launch. Kuma venue batomola zina la church ni fote pini chabe. Nyumba ya mulungu mwezimo chitira makwebo. Mesaya bwereranso pachalo upapule na futi. Daba bantu bayamba futi kukulisa makwebo muchechi. Yesu Kristu shibwera no wembya ifikoti na futi. Daba bana bako bayamba makwebo muchechi na futi. Amakwebo muchechi yafula washalavyo kushitisha mafuta. Amakwebo muchechi yafula balitamba no kushitisha vyakulia. Mesaya bwereranso pachalo ukwapule na futi. Daba bantu bayamba futi kukulisa makwebo muchechi. Yesu Kristu shibwera no wembya ifikoti na futi. Daba bana bako bayamba makwebo muchechi na futi. Amakwebo muchechi yafula washalavyo kushitisha mafuta. Amakwebo muchechi yafula balitamba no kushitisha vyakulia.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Ubuntu channel. My name is Himba Malambo, and I'm here tonight to be with you to discuss the matters that affect us on daily life. Our topic of discussion today is what is happening in the political arena, the current happenings in the political arena. We'll look at few issues that affect us, the Zambian people, and what has been happening in the political arena. And I encourage everyone to join us wherever you are. Would appreciate if you can get into the studio through the link. Would want to hear your opinions on what is happening in the political arena, and would want to hear your expectations from these political leaders. However, as usual, I'm not alone. And before I go any further, allow me to mention that I'm only sitting in for our presenter who will be coming in very soon, who is running late as usual. Such happens. Nevertheless, I'm not alone in the studio. With two colleagues of mine who are going to help us analyze these issues that are happening in the political arena. As I said, good evening and welcome again to the Let's Talk Politics on Ubuntu channel. We are going to share the link. Please come through in the studio, or would love to hear your comment. Tuila Sula, if into fledged come chaloche. So these things, they affect us, and we should be part of the decision making. Whatever is happening in our country, whatever policies are being passed by our leaders, we should have the interests to know and to understand how these policies are affecting us, how these policies are going to affect our children, our future generation, and how the country is going to benefit from these policies. And we should also have interest to understand what kind of people are we putting into these decision-making positions we have, because sometimes we put people who are leading us, and just because I'll end there. Allow me to bring in my colleagues in the studio who is Mukelabai. Mukelabai, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Himba, and good to see you after a while.
It has
and
been.
Good evening, viewers.
It has been, honestly, it has been a while. It's nice to see you.
Yes, it's good to see you. I'll be back. I'll be on the video later. I'm sitting in a place where it's not okay for viewers to see, but I will definitely move to. I will move in the sun because it's. I think we have a sunlight outside, so
Okay.
that will be okay.
We'll be waiting, and I think it would be nice to see your face, and it would be nice to have just to see how you're looking in this summertime. We are not
today kota. Today kureka.
mwaendesha mwentu meshandi tekukota wangu mule butukira kwisa. Okay.
Yes.
We also have Wiseman, who is I think he's dropped off. I think it's because due to network. Mukelabai, I think from the song. Okay, I think Wiseman is back. We also have Wiseman with us in the studio. Mr. Wiseman, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good evening, Himba. Good evening, Mukelabai. Good evening to our viewers. My pleasure to be part and parcel of this evening's program.
It is always a pleasure to have you, Comrade Wiseman. At kulifila chitika political arena ba Wiseman. Finchi mumfuireko.
Our politics in Zambia is always with the breaking news, so you can't be surprised
that there are things happening.
Yeah, always.
Before we go any further, I would love each one of you or each one of us just to say a word about the song we had before we started the program. The song we had before we started the program. What do you have to say, Wiseman, under a minute? What is it telling us?
I think some of the musicians we have in Zambia, they can if they were to be to act as prophets, I think they can qualify, because most of the things they talk about, they are happening now, and this we are seeing them in Zambia, where now people are turning the playing house, the house of the Lord, into now the business houses, and more especially politicians, they have turned those houses into the refugee camp, if for lack of a better term. So the song was qualifying to what currently is happening in Zambia. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mukelabai.
Thank you so much, Himba and Wiseman. Well, I've noticed as well that that politicians, our Zambian politicians, especially the opposition, they think that by going to the priests or the churches, by um, embracing, or rather embracing the clergy, by being in company of the clergymen, will buy them votes, and people will stop thinking, or rather talking about their sins, or about their omissions, the things that they did in the past, and you see them going and they want to associate themselves with the clergymen, so that the Zambian people, because Zambian people believe so much in God, in Jesus, and they're Christians, and they will think that they also are holy. I think they are mistaken. They are mistaken because we know that most of their sins are coming to haunt them. And the moment you see a politician associating too much himself or herself with the clergyman, just know that there's something that they are hiding. Haven't you noticed that in life, when you are sick, when you are almost terminally ill, what do? You associate yourself to who? Do you go to the bars and or to party around, or you go to the hospital and you go to church for prayers so that your soul may be saved, because you know that your illness is not gonna you may not gonna be saved, and the only person that may save you, or you may ask for lenience, is from God. And this is what you see from politicians when they were in power. You know what happened. You saw what happened. They never even knew what God or what churches were. They didn't even know. They didn't even have denominations. They didn't have a church. Their only church was jumping on the jets, going abroad, dance with our money. And then, lose my elections. Now that they're about to be exposed, then you see them godly, Jesusically, wanting to align themselves to Jesus. God, Leonce, lesatafumana pakanwa. But now,
Mukelabai, you are going into details. I'll come back to you. Hold that thought. We are talking about politicians. It's not even, we are just scratching on it. Politicians taking advantage of the church. Politicians going to pursue or to go and champion their political agenda in the churches. This is what song is talking about. And Peterson is saying, God, lesa, bwelan pachalo, futi mukwapule na futi. How I wish lesa alaba lopola ama people apene watampo kulanda tutuli nsoka. Ulupi. Alanda tichi, ulupi. I think in kutifia tampo kubomba. Because we should know when to separate things. We should know when to bring politics, where to do politics, when to talk about politics, not the pulpit. Let's separate that. However, the owner of the office has come. May I please hand over? Valole, Mwaise and Mukwai.
Thank you so much, Himba, for standing in for me, and you are doing a brilliant job so far.
Oh, thank you. Then I'm going to be a presenter as well. Don't I? Quite fine.
Good evening, gentlemen. That is Mukelabai and Mr. Wiseman.
Good evening, Lawrence. How are you?
Awesome.
Good to hear from you after a long time.
Yeah, good to have you on the program as well. And good evening to the lady Himba as well.
Thank you so much and good evening, my dear. It's nice to be on the program. It has been long. Kange twakonka twamfama policies ayengia isatata atumfwe kange kulama policy ya chitika soto tumfwe kwa policies ales.
Okay, so I was following through the discussion that you've been having concerning politicians running to change. Um, I don't know, is Mr. Wiseman on the line? I think I said hi and he hasn't responded. Are you there?
I'm there, comrade. Good evening, and good evening to our
Thank
listeners
you.
as well.
Now, in a nutshell, let me start with the lady Himba. Don't you think when people realize their sins, it's always important to rush to church? I think that is what the Bible even encourages. Let those who are sinful come unto me. Jesus even had to visit the sinner in the name of. We can talk of the tax collector Zacchaeus. Jesus had to go and dine with him. Is that not what it's supposed to be? Or probably to what extent should we tolerate such?
Okay, thank you so much. But I think apa kuri ubupusano to going to church to go and ask for forgiveness, or maybe to go and confess, or maybe to go and have a moment with God, it's different from what we are going through now, where people are going to church to manipulate the citizen and also push their political agenda. Nafipu sana ukuya mukupepalesa ukulomba obwerero, and also maybe you want to renew your covenant with God, going to worship God. Nomba nga olea mukulomba ubwerero ke nga walilufyanya olea mukulomba obwerero ku church. Anyway, I don't really like commenting so much on the issues of God, but I'm just going to scratch a bit because those are controversial issues. So nga olea ku church mukulomba obwerero, do you move from one church to another, and inga wafika whichever church you go to, because your relationship between you and God should be private. So wherever you go, you need a mic to say something that is going to offend people. Whenever you say, and there's no way you can ask for forgiveness when there's no way you can go to church and by adding more wound to the people you already injured. Because none of these political leaders has ever asked for forgiveness from the Zambian people, even when they're on the pulpit.
Okay. Good to hear from you, and much appreciated for that submission. Mr. Wiseman, what's your take on the same?
Okay, thank you very much, comrade. I think it's what you have quoted and what is happening in Zambia. They are two different things, comrade. When you talk about the tax collector, when he was followed and he was added in the team of our Jesus Lord Savior, you never heard the tax collector talking about taxes while he was in that group. That shows you that the person repented from collecting tax to now working the work of the Lord. Currently in Zambia, we have got sinners, lawbreakers, people who destroyed the country. Instead of them going and repent, talk about unity in church, they go and says, I'm back. Me, I'm a snake in church. There's a someone already which is going on with a man of God. Then because you are a leader, you have been given a chance to speak to your people. There's no wrong in a politician speaking, but what is coming out of a politician, it's one and the same. If a tax collector was picked by Jesus, then as he was added in the group, he continued preaching about collecting tax. I don't think so he could have moved with our road. But because he was changed, that's why he repented. But now, these politicians we are seeing today, you go in church, you go and introduce the group of your political grouping. Where is the connection? In church, there are children who want to learn something to you. You go and say, I'm a snake. You are a snake in church. Meanwhile, our Bible taught us that Satan moved through a snake. Then someone go in church and says, I'm a snake. What language are you communicating to the church members? So for me, what the Bible have quoted and how things were working and what is currently happening in Zambia, they are not cooperating. It's something which are the parallel lines. This line is going this side, this line going this side. And
Okay.
that's why I said the song was on point.
Okay, Mukelabai, I think yours will be different. I think if you listen to what Himba and Wiseman submitted, they are both calling some of these people criminals and lawbreakers and all sorts of names. But in Zambia, the law says everybody is innocent until proven guilty, and the onus is on the current government to ensure that these people are proven guilty, which has not happened up to now. So why should we continue referring to them as criminals, lawbreakers, and all sorts of names?
Thank you so much, my brother. You don't live far away. You are in Zambia yourself. You have seen how much money was spent that was meant for your community, how much money these politicians have recklessly abused or misappropriated without giving any proper accountability on what they have used the money for. You have seen. Let's not beat about the bush. Let's talk about Lungu. Lungu, Mr. Edgar Changwa Lungu. He was a president for 7 years. He has been in government for 10 years, ever since PF came into power. Okay. And you have seen how this government, their government, have fared from the time they won an election throughout until the demise of their founding father of their party, and through Insambo Lyamfwa, Lungu was given a sympathetic vote. He came into power, and then all hell broke loose. The gentleman knew nothing. The gentleman had no vision. He even confessed to the Zambian people. That was the only truth part of him that I remember. He was very honest to tell the Zambian people, I have no vision. I don't know, but I'll try. It's a trial and error.
Well, Mukelabai,
But
he
now,
also said something which I think is true. He said he's coming into politics because of his family. He's coming back into
yes,
politics because of his family. I think that is
yes.
also true.
So we saw that his family were really struggling in Chawama there. The children were the good thing about it that he educated his kids. They went to school, which is good, but the lifestyle that they were leading at the time, it was not okay. They were struggling. You could see even him himself. He was not really doing well economically, even professionally. We saw how he was. Some of us had an opportunity to meet him in Chawama when he was under the influence, where he was being Walemwensha Muyurba. Unfortunately, I wish I had a camera by that time or a phone and took a picture of him, unfortunately. But if you ask anybody from Chawama, they will tell you that this man was just an average Zambian, an average lawyer who had indulged himself in illicit activities like beer. He was a drunkard. Unfortunately, I don't know, but I think the wife really, I respect that woman. She stood by him, supported him, and pushed him through thick and thin. And we saw Edgar Changwa Lungu moving from one position to the other through UPND. He was actually a member of UPND, and he went and joined PF. And luckily, government, PF formed the government, and he started earning good money. But the money he was earning was not as much as he claimed that he was making so much money that he could start even dishing out or buying all those. No. So the question now is why your question was, if he stole, where is the evidence? Why are people pointing a finger at him that he stole? Well, my answer to you, my brother, is that yes, you are innocent until proven guilty. But this time around, the government that is in place came in power for only, has been in power for almost to 3 years now. Okay? And they are investigating matters. And so far, Lungu cannot be investigated in in his own individual capacity for any offenses or crimes committed whilst he was in office. However, that does not negate the fact that the family members are also immune, cannot be prosecuted. So the government is really
It's only
investigating
the
Lungu.
folks who cannot be prosecuted. Everybody else can. And I think they have issues in court right now.
Yes. So that is what I'm saying. When we are busy saying somebody is innocent, why are we calling him a thief? Why are we calling? We called him a thief. We are suspecting him of being a thief or misappropriate because we have enough evidence to show that this man raised from rags to riches within a shortest period of time. And there's no way a man that just because you a president of of a country, then you have amassed such wealth within the shortest period of time. No, we know the salary of a president. We know the allowances the president is supposed to be given, but not to an extent where now we see Utusaka Twandarama given found everywhere. Then we are realizing that no, there was some abuse. Hence the investigations taking place. They will come back to Lungu and either after stripping him of his immunity, but right now they are building up a case. His family, the wife, she is under investigation. She's actually facing a criminal investigation, a criminal case in court. And the matter is still active in court. We are yet to hear, we are yet to see. If she's found guilty, that will be also a way, that will be prima facie enough evidence to use against Lungu over the stripping of his immunity. That if the wife was found that the money that she has not been accounted for properly, she has failed to give account where the money came from. Because if Lungu wants to protect his wife, he should go and tell the court, this is where I got the money. But he's failing because he knows that the source was not legit. And now he can't also be put on stand because he has an immunity. He cannot be compelled or subpoenaed. He can't. Why? Because he is under a legal, what do you call it? More like you can't be prosecuted. He's immune. As simple as that. He can be prosecuted for offenses that he's going to commit after leaving office. Say, for example, the rally that he had. If that rally happened to be scrutinized and investigated and then find out that he, as he was busy saying whatever he said, he committed a crime, the police have all the right to go to him and read his his rights and arrest him, charge him and take him to court. Because right now he is an average individual. He's a cadre, he's a politician, and he can be treated as such. He is not immune for any criminal or any. He can be sued. He also can sue at this point of time. So
Okay,
let me end here. Otherwise, he is a criminal suspect, and we are simply waiting for that day when he will be stripped of his immunity and charged so that he could go and answer. If he's found not guilty, then well and good.
Let me just cut you short. You have already mentioned about the rally that happened. Maybe it's time we just go into it and have a talk about it. Maybe first and foremost, I'll come back to Himba. I think you've not been around, but over some weeks we've been talking about we've been talking about the police not allowing the opposition to have rallies and the like. And I think it was Wiseman who was insistent that this is not time for campaigns, and we should not be having such things and all that. But thank God this time around they were given an opportunity to have their rally. Now, how commendable is it in the democratic space that we should allow all these voices to be heard, like the way the UKA was given a chance to speak? I think, Himba, that's for you. I'm not sure if you got that. Your mic is muted.
Okay, we are. If I got you right, you're saying in the previous discussion, it was mentioned here on this platform that we are not supposed to have AMA campaign gatherings, is it?
Yes,
Himba,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
You know what? If you say we are, it's a rule of law. And I think twilalandana sana ekisungu tuyingirako na muloko kwe batwasenda bonse abantu pantuli pano mukwakana amano and also to share ideas. Nga twalanda rule of law, I'm telling you, comrades and our viewers there, it's a bit irritating because it's a procedure, it's a process, and there are things that you can't understand that happens. And even you'll be frustrated. You are going even to call the magistrate, the judges, that they are corrupt because they are trying to interpret the law, the law, the way it's going to work, or the way they will apply it in that particular case. Like you know, gatherings for it to be difficult for us to understand, because there are some times when they can't allow it to happen, not because it's not allowed, but they're also looking at other things. They're also looking at, is ngatwabika irali yachitika, are the people in this, or are the citizen in this area protected? How will it happen? And even whatever rally, you know, there are a few things we've even when we are talking about ECL, when we are talking about Adada, we are talking about the former president of Zambia. We are not just talking about a nobody here. Whether we like it or not, ECL was the president of Zambia. ECL had access to a number of things. And while he was in government, anyway, while he was in government, he even made enemies. Some of the policies that he implemented, some people did not like it and they hated him. In other countries, just because they pushed a certain agenda in parliament and the citizen did not like it, they'll go for that president or they'll call for that MP. So right at and especially where ECL is going to happen, they look at all those things. But a lay person like me, pantia PF, pantia ukwa, you come up with all those narratives, but sometimes it's not it. Yes, there can be a political interest or political agenda. No, I mean, these are politics. If you're in government, there are other few strings you can pull anyway. But then there are a lot of things they look at. And twilapitana mumbali. Ukutua fuma, they were so violent. Even for now, ukuba trust, and even when you even give them the platform, you and I, if I can ask even the viewers, what policies did Adada during the rally mentioned? What did he say he's going to do for the people of Zambia? For me, I just took it that whatever he was saying, it was only a platform. That platform was just created for him to attack the current president person. He's got a personal attack, personal grievance, personal hatred, personal bitterness towards. There's nothing he mentioned about the people of Zambia. There's nothing he mentioned even to say because I would have been very happy for our dad if he's addressing such things. Baba kapokola baba pela leeway to have a rally. I would appreciate if none of the leaders, actually, not only Adada, none of the leaders even said, when we were in power, if we ever offended you, please forgive us. And we are here with a different face. They never, and they feel kulika ownership unde mona inaka kumona kwati Zambia, it's a personal to hold a country. There's nowhere where they believe that we are all shareholders. We are all part of Zambia, and we have a say. They can just come talk to us, say whatever they want. Adada and the team, even if they are given a platform, there's nothing they said. If anything, they just injured more people. There's nothing he said. What did he say? All he wanted was to attack our president right now. Nothing. So Ngarali Hafiyaba Ilesha. Because we are not going to tolerate where we're going to have people every day preaching hateful speech, preaching things that are not making sense, people holding Maralis, and you know where he is, he needs protection. You know where he is, he needs protection. Where he is, he's still the government property. The moment you are the president of Zambia, you are still a government property. Kwenda tabenda fekwati nina power tools just like that. That's not the way these people move. But because they've made us to think like Ngaba Kapokola Balanda, don't do this by ECO, he has made people of Zambia to believe that the policemen are wrong when they're just doing things the way they're supposed to be done. Law is law, Lawrence, and there's a way it's supposed to be done. There's always a procedure. And we are very, our president is very clear, loud and clear. He says we're going to rule Zambia under the rule of law. So you don't follow the law, you're in trouble. So if you are married, I think for me before, the right thing, and before they have the proper agenda for the Zambian people, it's not even necessary.
Okay, Mr. Wiseman, we can talk of sentiments that were passed, at the rally and the like. And I watched something from way back, when President Mwanawasa was at the helm, and we had President Michael Sata as the main opposition at that time. And I watched one epic rally Mr. Sata held, where he was talking about how the brain of President Mwanawasa and his mouth don't coordinate in those lines, demeaning sentiments. But still more, it never stopped Mwanawasa allowing President Sata from conducting rallies because he was not making sense. Actually, other people would say it's better you give empty people like that a rope to hang themselves as they continue making empty promises, or maybe demeaning others in place of telling people what they're going to do. And it's up to the Zambians to judge. So should we really bother and concentrate on the things that were being said, the derogatory remarks that were made, the names that we are called, that we are given to the current head of states? Is that what we are going to take away from it?
Okay, thank you very much, comrade. I'll be quick. First, I think when you referred to our previous program, I think I was on Telefilm where I was even diffusing to one of our participants who came and says UPND are not allowing rallies, even in by-elections. I said, no, that is not true. The police granted this rally to the UKA family. The police broke the law. It does not mean that when a police officer give me a gun and tell me to shoot my friend, that is doing it within the law. No, just because a police officer was instructed me to do that, still it will still remain the law has been broken. That is the reason why we have got what we call 90 days of campaign. That is the period of political rallies and everything, political gathering. Imagine we allow all the time to be having political rallies. What will be that 90 days for? We are blocking the law with impunity. So on that day, as the government, they dance to the tune of the opposition, and that is not democracy. The police block the law. If they want to be allowing rallies continuously, let them amend, appeal the law, so that the law should state that rallies should continue continuously, year in, year out, non-stop. Politics should continue. Thirdly, we should not concentrate on what they are saying, but that what they are saying should worry us. When they call Mwanawasa names, Mwanawasa never concentrated to what they were saying. what they were calling him names. And even us, the people, we never focused on that. As a result, when Manawasa left power, MMD left power and gave it to PF, because we were enjoying the jokes and the proverbs which were coming. That's why there were money which they got in the name of Eurobond. We don't know where that money, where that money has gone, because we were told that money came to rehabilitate the railway line. The railway line is as old as the UNIP left it. Because of what, we never concentrated on what they were saying. This time around, we are open up. We are worried when we see a politician stand on a pulpit, start saying tribal remarks, hate speeches, proverbs, or trying to be personal attacks. We are worried because, Lawrence, those are those politicians who are standing, they are our leaders in waiting. If anything, tomorrow they can be the president. What are they going to offer to our country? That's why 60 years of independence, we are still complaining about gravel roads in Zambia. We are still talking about Ota. We are still talking about Mirimi. We are still, because of what? We have got jokers in the name of politicians. When you see our friends in America, when the politicians stand and start speaking, they will be telling the people policies. They will be telling the people solutions. They will be telling the people what they think it could be done. That's what we want to see now in these politicians, not the politics of Ukwambo Sapana, just try to name calling, so that Womfuatin and Adish Bokulanda. The greatest speaker is the greatest liar. We are tired of that. 60 years of independence, we have been hearing the same type of politics. That's why when we heard in this rally, the all speakers, none of them gave policies. Only one who said we are going to employ 2 million ZNS. How, he never mentioned. So we are worried. We don't want to go back to old politics of name calling. If today, Lawrence, I'm attacking you on a personal level, that shows that there was no direction. So we don't want to turn 100 years as a country on the same level. No. We want to scrutinize. Look at the type of crop we have in parliament. Look at them and then analyze on your own. You discover that we have got a long way to go, and we have got a lot of things to do. The president is looking like he's alone because of what? Opposition. We have got no people who can point to say this opposition leader, they are giving checks and balances to the president, of which some of the ideas the president can even pick them and implement them. None of them are bringing those ideas. Go in parliament, MPs who are there, they are always bringing problems after problems. As a result, the government is moving on its own. So we are worried. Thank you, comrade.
Okay, just to remind you, the viewers, that you are watching Let's Talk Politics on Ubuntu. We are here on a Monday, and we'll be back tomorrow again at the same time, at the same place. And we hope to see you even tomorrow, though the program continues. And we would love to hear from you what you think on everything that we are talking about right here. Feel free to leave a comment on whatever social media platform you're watching us from, and we will pick it up from there. Or better still, there is a link that has been shared right in the comment sections. Please, you can click on it and you'll find us live in the studio so that we can get to interact. The choice is yours, but we will be glad to hear from you whichever way you choose. Mukelabai, coming to you now. Let's talk about the contents of this particular rally. We heard promises that were being made to the Zambians, and one of them is what Wiseman has brought up already, where we hear the UKA starting next week will be registering youths who want to join the national service, and they are promising 2026 immediately they win, 2 million youths are going to the national service. Wow, big dreams.
Ndiye majoko hayo nanga bakaluza.
You see, we are that rally, I mean, this is what these guys were crying for. And when you sit down and think of the noise they made over the police refusal of granting them permission to go ahead and hold a public gathering. And then when they are given that opportunity, instead of utilizing that opportunity to sell their manifesto, to give their manifesto to the Zambian people, what did we hear? That rally was just there to bash the government, to personally character assassinating the current leadership, disrespecting the current leadership, calling them names, in that people, the Kopala people, should turn around, turn against their own government, to turn. So that rally was there to incite the so-called members of their political party to turn against the current government and do not follow the law, but do it the way they want, they themselves, the UKA, is it the UKA, what they want. They have not articulated anything that was going to be bought by the Zambian people. What these chaps forgot is that they went to Copper Belt to talk to the people. And those people that they went to address, if you look at that rally, I barely could not see elderly people, those that are matured and that were, I believe they were all at work. They were busy doing their work. The work that they got after having been declared redundant, retrenched under the same Lungu's leadership. Lungu closed the mines on the Copper Belt. He closed the mines on the Copper Belt. He had kicked the Kopala people on the street to fend for themselves. He gave his cousin to run to get the rest of the monies. You know what happened? He goes back to the people. Did Lungu talk about the mines during that rally? Did he talk to them about why the mine was closed, and why this government opened that mine and they were given back their jobs? He never said a thing. The only thing Lungu said, together with his minions, was just attacking the current president. HH has never character assassinated Lungu in his address. He is very mature. He is very careful when he is addressing. But you saw for yourself the language, the type of language that was coming out from Lungu. You cannot expect that language coming from the person who used to hold the highest office of the land. That language Lungu was using was a Kabova. Mishanga Sela's language. Lelo, I think in language mulela ndati yavena atema junkies. Now that is a junkie in a adult and an educated junkie. Because there's no way you could expect the person that you want to call a statesman would utter such words and insinuating violence onto the current leadership It means that people are going to turn against the current government and start calling the current government, the leadership, names because they have an individual who is busy inciting them. They praise him. They follow him. He has followers. Why was there violence during his tenure? Now we are able to put 1+1 because it is the behavior of the leadership. Even though he's been claiming to be humble, that man is a snake. It's true. I believe him. I understand and I really concur with him. He is indeed a snake. When he spoke that day, I was thinking to myself, this is the man that goes around in a church that was busy crying to be given a podium to speak. And this is what he has to say. Seriously, Zambian, we must be a joking nation to allow such kind of behavior from a so-called statesman, an ex-president, to express himself in such a manner the way he came out. No wonder Lungu never used to address the people because he can't talk. He can't speak in a gentle or rather a matured and intellectual way. That man, I really, really find it difficult. He doesn't know what he has done now to himself. He has just now opened a Pandora box where the UPND or anybody that is supporting the current government, I don't think will have any good words or special words for him or respect for such a leader. Lungu has shown his immaturity. The behavior was so I could be wrong, probably, unless he was not in his state of mind. Maybe he was under the influence as usual. Because you don't expect a president, ex-president, to come out the way he came out. Now he has come out that way. Now we are waiting for the government and the head of state to simply act swiftly. It is time, Mwaba, you have, especially Woechechi, you have really been so gentle in handling ECL. But I don't think your advisors and your members are going to sit and listen, allow him to disrespect you as the head of state. If Mr. HH was an ex-president, maybe I would give Mr. Lungu a benefit of doubt that now they are playing as XX. But he is the incumbent president, and the president is like a king. That's why he is escorted. That's why he has those instruments of power. And you want to joke around with him like that, calling him names. Okay. Boy Church, over to you. And
Okay.
the cadres for UPND, we are also waiting for you guys to react and retaliate in a very reasonable manner. Because Wolungu has really come out like a child, like a kaponya. That language, I did not like it. Really.
Okay. Mukelabai, we can say that at the end of the day, I think one thing I've learned in life is that it's like politicians have no permanent enemy. We can go back and look at, for example, Honorable Chimba Kambwiri and Mr. Lungu, look at their history and the kind of unpleasantries they have exchanged in the past. And in 2021, they were working together. And then we have a situation where we have got Lungu's supporters and probably the president supporters as well now locking horns because of what these two are saying against each other, or in this case of what, because of what the former president is saying against the incumbent. Now, in the long run, people will hate each other, bruise each other, and then in the long run, we see them sharing a drink, laughing and joking together. What does it leave the supporters, as you are calling on them to that they have to react? Where does it leave the supporters when these things like that happen?
Uh, the supporters will have to make a choice. They know. We know what we are following. We know the programs that we are following. We know how to support our leaders. And if those people choose to forgive each other, but that does not mean that a family of Rollins, the gentleman they killed in Kaoma, the family of Joseph Kaunda, the family of, they also should forgive. No, I don't think so. HH is covering his shadow, as we are busy claiming that his presidency, because he's the man in authority, deserves to be given the utmost respect that he desires. The office should be given respect. You cannot go on like that and call names the current head of state in such a manner. Now you understand why the police were adamant or reluctant in giving these guys permission to go and hold rallies. It is such kind of utterances, because those utterances are going to steer the nation. There are people that are not happy. There are people that are happy now. There are certain people that are even laughing now, making fun of the current leadership. And the supporters also, the supporters of the current leadership are not happy. So, by so doing, the police will have so much work, because mwalala mwilashani, mwalala mwilabanga, because everyone now will be pointing fingers and they want to fight, or they want to retaliate in a very negative way. Others, they'll be violent. Others, there will be a lot of abusive language that is going to be used online. So we need order, and we cannot entertain such kind of language. Already we have few MPs that are behind bars right now, facing criminal charges for divisive and hateful speeches. And here we are, we have the former president. Now we know who the author, who has been inspiring these chaps who has been pushing these chaps to be using such kind of words, because it is coming from Edgar Changwalungu himself. Now he came out. He was given an inch. Go. Here you are. This is the democracy you've been crying for. Here's the Larry. Nomba mwaimwena. Ngabamukani na mairo ati yo democracy is under attack. I would never entertain such kind of behavior. If he comes tomorrow and say to Penny, now we want to go to Kitwe, to Ndola, to go and hold another rally. If I was the police officer in charge, if I was the inspector general of police, I would simply say, go to hell. I am not going. You can go to court. Go get a court order. As a police officer, I will refuse to issue you, to grant you to go and hold the rally because of what you have been steering. Donald Trump is in court because of insurrection. So why should we allow the country to go to be led to war or in fire with such kind of useless comments from the former head of state?
Okay,
That was so
maybe
disrespectful.
let me just bring in Himba on this one. Himba, I mean, when thinking of this rally, actually just makes huge headlines. And we also hear from this rally that former President Edgar Lungu was talking to President Hakainde Hichilema to say he should avoid making the same mistakes that he made. Now, that statement alone, Himba, doesn't it tell you that it's somebody who realizes that they have made mistakes in the past?
Thank you so much. In the first place, does he have to go and say that to Kurari? Do we need to hear about it? In the first place, they can talk. They are on the same level. Do you have to go outside and announce? Rollins, do you have to do that? Okay, I'll leave that to the viewers. What I'm saying is that rally which happened Kukwacha East, especially Kuchangana Mai, that was just created to attack President HH, full stop. And for me, in my own opinion, I've just come to understand that all those things that were happening, there's nothing like no people advised the ECO wrongly. If anything, for me, ECO was the mastermind anyway. Because if now the way he's coming out, and it's just that most people, they've decided to stay away. Most people, they've decided to stay away. PF, because imagine Abena Innocent Kalimanche or that team, it's like they've decided to stay, they are not really involved. So I suspect our former president was involved in these things, the way he's coming out. That rally that happened, Kukitwe, for me, it has just sent a lot of messages. And that's why we are saying they should be very careful as you said, Rollins Ukewati, ama supporters, they go on each other's throats. It's because of such segment. So if you've got followers and you're speaking like that, how do you want them to react? Because there's nowhere where I heard him to talk about peace. There's nowhere where I heard him to talk about unity. There's nowhere where I heard him even to talk about what he's going to do. As I said earlier on, even to show some courtesy that, okay, Twali Lufianya, we lost people under his leadership. A lot of people died. You know, just to mention a few whom have already been mentioned by Mukelabai Lawrence. We had the Mapenzi, we had the Namgala boy, the young boy who died, may their soul rest in peace. He doesn't even show that remorse. You know, so how does a person who was a president and all these things happened under his leadership, then he comes, HH should come to me for advice. Does he want to advise HH how to kill the citizen? Does he want to advise HH how to gas the citizen? Does he want to advise HH how to allow your regime to be stealing from the government coffers? Does he want to advise HH how to protect your people when they are mismanaging the resources of the country? Is that what he's saying? What did he mean HH should come for advice? And if he really means well, if he wanted President HH to go to him for advice, why didn't he pick up a coin and say, hey, my friend, let's meet, let's talk about this. Here you are going wrong, here you are going wrong. Edgar Lungu, what can he boast what he did for the Zambian people? And he keeps on keeping injuring. If anything, even when the Zambian people wants to heal, they can't heal because he's busy scratching the same sores. But because like right now, for me, that rally, I think it came at the right time. It exposed him. And when he said, I'm a snake, I agree with Mukelabai. ECL is really a snake, and we should watch out for him. ECL is ready to do anything, whether people they are going to lose their lives, whether people are going to lose their employment, just to get back at HH. Because it's like he's not resting. He wants to get back at HH. Why? We don't know. The reason is not to himself. But the man does not mean well for Zambia. I submit.
He is a liability to Mother Zambia. We cannot have such kind of a leader coming out. We can't have such a leader. He is a liability. He is a danger to our future generation.
Actually, whichever party he's going to stand on, Mukelabai, it's not even the party. I think for me, I've concluded that actually PF was not even a problem. The problem was leadership. That's what
It
I've
was
concluded.
Lungu, yes, it was
Yes.
him. It was
Over to
him.
you, Wiseman.
Okay. Okay. Wiseman, I'm going to come to you, and the reason why I'm coming to you is you seem to believe that we should just do away with all these rallies until the 90-day campaign period. Now, for a party that is actually for an organization, I don't think the UKA is registered as a party yet. So let me say, for an organization like UKA, which is looking to mobilize themselves and project themselves towards the elections in 2026, and need all this time they can, as much as possible, opportunities to interact with the citizenry and inform them of what they plan to do. Like we heard, they plan to employ 2 million youths right after elections if they win the elections and things like that into the Zambia National Service. Things like that. They're time to make promises. Now, was this a wasted opportunity for them to actually engage the citizens on solutions which our to the problems which our country is facing currently, rather than the time spending so much time calling the head of state various names and all that? Do you think it was a wasted opportunity for them, and probably it would be an opportunity too much so lost that it will be difficult for them to have again?
Yeah, I think if you saw very well, Lawrence, those people they were not even prepared for that rally. What this grouping has been doing, they have been trying to provoke the state so that they can have a sympathy vote. Now, when they were planning for that rally, they were not even prepared to hold the rally on the first place. They wanted just for the police to stop them so that they can get a sympathy vote. Now, because of some of the brilliant minds in the system, they were ahead of them. They gave them the rally. Someone was in Lusaka when the rally was being prepared, and then he was shocked to be told to say, "You have been allowed to talk to the people." The time he was arriving, it was too late. He only spoke for less than 10 minutes. It was less than 5 minutes. The speech was done. You could see the disorganizing of the team. They missed an opportunity where they could have communicated. That is Copper Belt, where most of the mines were closed, and some of the mines they are being reopened. It was a very big opportunity for the former president to tell the people what was happening when they were being closed and what has changed now for them to start being reopening, and what other ideas he has picked from the one who is opening the mines now, which he can do better. You cannot ask this someone who has bring back meal allowance, which you removed, to say he should consult you. You are saying someone to bring meal allowance for student is a long thing, unless if he would have come and consult to you to ask which other department he could have abolished some allowances. You can't. So you could see the thinking and the organizing of that thing. It was a flop to themselves first of all. The stage was not even matching to say this is the biggest opposition where even the former president will be having a speech. It was not. The organizing, the sound itself, it was something else. So they missed an opportunity, which I don't think so they will have it. Or selling your message to the people, you can even sell it through the radio stations. Even when they go to the media like TV, what they speak, we have been seeing how they do them is propaganda. So for me, it was a very shameful thing, and I will urge the president, please don't listen to those, because those they failed us lamentably and shamelessly. Someone says, "HH weshako fe ubunga pa 100 kwacha." Ah, you have obunga pa 240. You failed to reduce the price of mini meal. Then you want your friend to reduce the price of mini meal under a situation where you have left him with a lot of burden. I think there is sanity in having shame as a human being. So for me, we don't have opposition. The only opposition we have in Zambia is the Zambian people. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think let me just allow all of us to just give our concluding remarks. And remember, the viewers, we will be back tomorrow with part 2, where we will be more detailed on this particular subject tomorrow, with so much that is there to be discussed, and then we will wind up on this particular subject matter. So let me start with the lady Himba. You can give your concluding remarks, and then we can go to Mr. Wiseman, and then Mukelabai will sum it up. Please, if possible, just keep it under 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, I would love to say, Insoni Ubuntu. Our previous head of state has Tensoni. He has no shame. Secondly, ukumona ali ali kukitwe. And all those presidential candidates balya bonse abalya balefu kuba bakateeka bonse palya pantu kyemwe katukuba bukateeka kyali wamafu bonse balya balefu kuba bakateeka. If we to divide, or if we to do the ratio, yeah, abantu balya, do you think that audience, that's the audience we're supposed to have if they still have influence as they preach? Because nga bali abantu tu abakita divide according to the pantu, those are different political parties. So bantu babo bonse bali ali political parties ali palya. So if we were to do the ratio, each president umo bali abali nishakwata abantu banga, that is how we are going to notice that abantu, they don't mean well. Secondly, that Larry, we needed it as the Zambian people. Ukumona wungo ukwakwate ntungulu shishimo. We needed it. And we've concluded. And the politicians, they should understand that as we are listening to them, we are no longer the voters. Chula na presidential candidate voter. We are no longer that kind of voters. We are voters who want ideas to come to the table. We are voters who can reason, who can research, who understands what we want. And we know the Zambia we want. And those people who are going there, Kasaka Kabunga, we don't have such time. We don't even have it. And for me, from that rally, as I said, I've concluded, the PF itself was not a problem. The PF as a party was not a problem. The problem was ECL, the leader. Even now, the enemy to the PF, the enemy to UKA, it's ECL. Enemy bakwete, and enemy balerwa. Because to tell you the truth, whichever group ECL will join, politically you go nowhere. Whichever, whether political party, as long as ECL will be the frontliner player figure, you'll not go anywhere. Because for me, I've concluded ECL is a problem. And he made the PF to be a scam. It was a scam. Whatever happened under PF was a scam. I submit. Wiseman, over to you.
Oh, okay, thank you very much, Madam Himba. I think my concluding remarks is that we only have one country. We don't have where we can lash. God has stopped creating countries. So let us lead the leaders through their lips and how they are thinking. Whichever leader comes who is trying to sell tribal marks, hate speeches, and trying to bring proverbs as a political message, it won't take us anywhere. We were born in 1964. We are now 60 years old. If it is in a human being, we are old enough where you can't do anything. We are doing a disservice to this country. This country is old enough, but less development because of this type of leaders. So let us lead through the lips. Let us not do a trial and error of leadership. Let us not use emotion when we are voting. Let us always trust the process, give time, and see how development will come to our nation. Those leaders who are spearheading to be our future leaders, please give us your plan. Give us the message which we understand that when you become president, this is what you do. Sometimes you can even become a pastor and bring development to the country. It does not mean that you can only bring development when you are a president. So some of you politicians who have served before and you have failed, go and repent. I think we have heard from the Bible, Paul was a killer, Paul repented, and Paul became someone who was preaching the gospel. I think even you, some of you politicians, it's high time you go to the Bible. Maybe if you are to be create churches, maybe you can repent and try to change other people who have got ill intention for this country, who can go in and hide and seek, trying to put this country on a flame in the basis of abduction. Thank you very much, comrade.
Thank you so much. Mukelabai.
Well, thank you. Well, you have heard our sentiments. We are very happy that the current government or leadership allowed or permitted the opposition to hold their political rally, even when it is not the period, the campaign periods, but they went ahead and are given them an opportunity to present themselves, challenging or rather defeating the cries of no, the democratic space was shrinking in Zambia. And I think this government has proven the Lungu group, the UKA group, all these opposition that have been everywhere crying that democratic space was shrinking in the country, wrong. Now they have been proven wrong. There's democracy, and only when there's good leadership, that is when you can have such kind of political rallies, and without any soul being lost, without any violence, uh, despite being in a very dominant and popular uh, uh, region of the ruling government, there was nothing. We haven't heard any crime or criminal uh, acts that took place apart from the people who held the rally themselves that decided to abuse the current government, or rather went ahead and started inciting or violence and inciting citizens to turn against authorities. That's a very serious crime, and I employ the police together with all the relevant authorities to have a post-mortem of that rally and look at what these people that were on that rally said, whether those remarks were said with no malice, that they did not intend to commit any crime, or they were said with malice to divide the nation or to disrespect. If we have such laws, if they've broken the laws, please let the rule of law take its own course. Otherwise, we are so happy that the UKWA have exposed themselves, and we don't know whether the former president will have any position in UKWA, because he does not have a political party. He claims to belong to PF, and he claims to be the PF president, but we know who the current president of the PF. We know who is the leader of opposition in the PF. We know who is recognized by the Zambian people and by law, who was on paper as a PF president. And so Mr. Lungu will find himself in a no man's in an island, on an island where he will have no political party to go to. Right now, he has no portfolio in UKWA. He has no portfolio in PF. The man is just standing there as a former head of state. So we need to understand this, and we are waiting for the cases that are still pending in court, where some individuals took the cases to court over his eligibility for being the president of 2021. The matter is still on. Anyway, having said that, I just wanted to tell my fellow Zambians, Zambia is a peaceful country. Let us not be disturbed by these politicians who happen to either be hypocrites. They say this today, tomorrow they say something different. They want to divide us. Let us show them that we are beyond politics. Us will love each other, we'll continue holding one another, we'll continue shaking hands, and we'll continue sharing different views. And we need to share ideas and give each other solutions, because these solutions that we may have will help our people and will help our family, our nation. Whoever is going to be the president after HH in 2031, we the people in 2031, we the Zambian people will rally behind that person. But if you have bad records, we would simply go the other way. May the Lord God protect our nation, and may He cast the demons of those that are willing to divide the nation. May He cast them away from our country. We don't need such people. We don't need violent people. May their intentions die in their dreams. Thank you.
Thank you so
Over-
much.
over
Thank you
to
so
you.
much. Yeah. Lawrence, are you back?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Um, just to thank the viewers who have been with us for the last 1 hour, 20 minutes plus on this program, and to thank Himba, who stood in for me many times when I dropped off and has been here. Also to thank Mukelabai and Mr. Wiseman for their presence here. But remember, we meet at 20 hours tomorrow on the same platform as we continue dissecting this particular rally, and we shall delve into details tomorrow and see exactly what transpired. Today, we just introduced this. There is more to come. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow. Good night.